I think, one of the largest political rallies that was, I think it was one of the largest political rallies of my lifetime that I've ever been privy to, occurred over the weekend. I would say that it was slightly smaller than Poilievre's rally in Edmonton that drew about 14,000 people, like Edmonton Oilers playoff numbers.
Yeah.
So I talked to the legislature sheriffs, and I also talked to the EPS police who were there, and they said like 5 to 6,000. But the organizers have taken some drone footage and done some analysis. They say roughly 11, 12,000. At the end of the day, it's neither here nor there. This is the largest nonpartisan political rally I've seen in my life. It being nonpartisan, people from different parties were there. They're not there to see a political leader. They're not there to rally for election results. This was an independence rally, and it was a sea of blue flags.
Wow.
At the legislature. And
So wait a minute, Sheila. This wasn't Albertans coming out to show their solidarity to your striking teachers, was it?
well, that was the day before, and those teachers got nothing better to do. No, these were people who look at what Doug
Wow.
Ford. And you can see it's actually up. So like the legislature grounds are like it's in steps. And I thought the people on like up top were the antis, but they weren't. They were just more of the crowd. There were some antis there, about 8 of them. My best count, one very malnourished Antifa, and some ladies of the left, including your standard Handmaid's Tale LARPer ladies. The ladies of the left need a new book. There are other authors than Margaret Atwood, wouldn't you know? But I think that malnourished Antifa dude hangs around with those ladies because he knows they're going to eat later.
Are we talking blue and pink hair set too there, Sheila?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
there's and the like full on Antifa flag, just dressed in black. And they had like a dozen cops protecting them as if anybody was bothering them, just leaving them alone. Because nobody cares. They've got their trans flag and there's an Antifa flag. And like the independence people, they couldn't even care. Like they're just like, whatever, leave these people here. But this is the best opposition to independence that these people could muster.
I don't understand the counter demonstration, such as it is, as you said, 8 people. Antifa is not anti-fascist. They're fascists. They're
Right.
They're anarchists. But how is it we have anarchists coming out to keep Canada intact? To not have a province separate. What is their agenda? I'm totally gobsmacked by this.
Because we're not going to have any patience for this garbage. Right? Like we're not in the new country, as Lise likes to say. You think we wouldn't deem Antifa an outlawed terrorist entity? You damn straight we would. That guy would be face down in handcuffs for waving that Antifa flag in the free state of Alberta. The sex activist weirdos, they're going to have to do their sex activist weirdness on their own time with their own money because we won't be funding that sort of stuff. So if there's a free Alberta, the gravy train with biscuit wheels for these people, it's rolling out of the station and they're standing on the platform with their suitcase in their hand. That's the problem. That's why they're out protesting this. Meantime, and I'll just say several thousand, so between 6 and 12, let's say. So that's a big swath, but it's still a whole heck of a lot of regular Albertans on the last nice Saturday of the year were there in support of independence. And let me tell you, people from all backgrounds, you've got your standard Western boomers who hate Canada, like the Pope hates the devil. They have had it with being mistreated.
How can you blame them?
Our boomers are arch conservatives, not like Eastern boomers. Ours have lived through a Trudeau. They've had their lives ruined by a Trudeau, and then a second Trudeau ruined their children's lives, and now they're here for their grandkids. Like it's so I get it. They're over Canada. They've had it. Then you've got people who came in during the dark times of like the Romano government in Saskatchewan where it felt like every second Albertan was born in Regina. And then we've got people who moved here during Ray days in Ontario. So a lot of people who are that next generation of disgruntled refugees from the rest of the country, and then young people who just say we see the inequities and we've had it. And it's people like Indigenous people, New Canadians, they're all there. I talked to a bunch of them. I've got a report coming out. But what a friendly crowd, by the way, like so rebel friendly. But you'd have a real hard time writing these people off as extremists at all. They could, but don't put it past the Jason Kenney types of the world who call these people radical, zealots, fringe. Like there's little kids, people of color, to use the language of the left, walking by, young, old, just completely normal. This is, as I said, it's nonpartisan. I would say that 90% of these people are United Conservative Party supporters. I bet you 100% of them would vote for Pierre Poilievre in the next election. But some of them are just people who are completely non-political, but just think that there's a different way forward. And actually, they played a clip to the entire crowd. The organizers, our friends at the Alberta Prosperity Project did, of the United Conservative Party leadership. I think it was in 2021. That was after, or was it 2021? When they ousted Jason Kenney anyway, for not being conservative and stomping all over the civil liberties of Albertans. And it was Ezra Levant was moderating the debate, if you'll recall. And he asked Premier Smith, what's the or else? What if your legal challenges fail? What if they throw your strongly worded letters in the garbage? What's the or else? And she said the or else for Canada is the Alberta Prosperity Project and their movement here. And they played that because, these people are the or else. And anyways, it was kind of fun to see Ezra's clip, the audio of his clip played for thousands of people, realizing that he and the Premier saw this for what it was before it was even at this momentum.
Fantastic. And Sheila, since you're at Ground Zero, and I haven't been following this story, how has the mainstream media in Alberta portrayed these people coming out to this rally?
Oh, they're zealots. They're crazy people. On the flip side,
I knew it.
But here's the thing: it's going to come at them from all directions. So the Elbows Up crowd, of course, they're doing their own thing. In fact, they've organized their own petition. It's called the Forever Canada petition, and we saw some hinky business during the municipal elections. They were sort of set up in the municipal polling stations because a lot of municipalities don't have rules about this stuff, or right next door to the municipal polling stations, which is, if not a violation of the law, a violation of the spirit of the law, and also real sleazy. So they're doing that, but the media will cover like a petition signing for those people of 10 people in a church parking lot. And that's a reasonable thing. But they will sort of gloss this over as just a bunch of fringe. It's fringe. It's a fringe idea in this province, they'll say. But my point is that this will come at us from all sides because, look at these. Look at this. Well, it was just so amazing. Look at young people, old people just waving their flags. They love their province, and they say it's not our job to fix Canada anymore. Sorry, just before we move on. I want people who are in the independence movement to realize that the hate for you is also going to come from the established conservatives out there, because without Alberta, and if Alberta goes, Saskatchewan goes, you will never have a conservative government in Ottawa ever again. They will hang on to us with both hands, because they don't want us to go, because it's in their best interest for us to stay. And realize they're going to be acting in their best interests, not the best interests of Albertans when they're saying that, because we are all the fundraising, we're all the MPs, we're the brain trust, we're all the seats. And so if Alberta goes, I guess the closest thing you'll have to a conservative prime minister one day is Doug Ford.
Oh, jeez. And that ain't conservative, Sheila.
No. Sorry,
Wow.
I interrupted you. You probably had a point to make there, but
I saw the CBC headline flash on the screen, and I just want to give credit where credit is due. They actually said that a rally that attracted thousands. Usually it's several dozen people came out to the legislature.
Hundreds. They will say hundreds, and it's like hundreds. Like, you know what I mean?
So they can count at the CBC after all. Eh?
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Thousands.
And that's true. I mean, for politicians to discount this movement, they will do so at their own peril. And I don't think Danielle Smith is trying to contain it either. I don't think that's her job either.
But she is on the record as not being a separatist, correct?
Of course. I don't think you can be a premier in the province within Confederation and not be a federalist. But she's also saying, if it is the will of the people, I must not stand in their way. That this is for Albertans to choose for Albertans, and so she's not standing in the way. And in the meantime, she'll continue to fight with Ottawa in the best interests of Alberta. But boy, she'd make a good president.
But Sheila, did you momentarily forget about a certain premier from the east known as René Lévesque? Yep, that's as pro-separatist as you get.
Right. But I guess, I mean, Quebec is allowed to do a whole different kind of politics than we are, right? Like, they're allowed to have a separatist provincial party, a federal party that sits in the House of Commons, and separatist culture, separatist music, separatist artists, a whole separatist culture there, and it's treated as completely normal. And when Albertans say, I think we're getting a raw deal, and if we were to consider joining the country under the terms that we know exist now, we probably wouldn't. If you say that, they're like, witch, burn her. Like, it's the craziest thing.
And Sheila, this is maybe an unfair hypothetical question for you, but let's pretend we're a year, 2 years down the road. There actually is an Alberta referendum on separation.
There will be.
How does it go?
I would like to say that it would be close, but it would go in favor of the separatists.
Really?
I think it would be close. I think they have a long education campaign ahead of them, and they need to. I mean, without endorsing one side or the other, I think some of the arguments against Alberta leaving are stupid at best. And I'm being charitable when I say that. When they say, like, oh, what are we going to do about the police? What are we going to do about the pension plan? What are we going to do about our portion of the debt? What are we going to do about this and this and this and this and government agencies and healthcare? That's paperwork. Like, that's quite literally paperwork. Yeah. It's not like those buildings vaporize and those people disappear doing those jobs. It's paperwork. We built a province out of nothing in 130 years. Yep. We powered this economy. Our great-great-grandparents literally lived in houses made of dirt. Yep. Cleared the land with their back in their hands. Are we scared of paperwork now? Is that it?
Well, no, those paper cuts can be brutal.
Exactly. It's nonsense. And maybe it's just city people who aren't as tied to the land who might fall victim to those. But I live on the land that my ancestors cleared with their hands. And the things around me were built by them. And so I know that we can do anything as Albertans if we put our minds to it.
Geez, I thought you were going to break into some John Mellencamp from the Scarecrow album back in 1980s.
Nope. I just look like a scarecrow most days. All right, let's